The film begins in 1957, deep in the Polish countryside. We see a terrified priest carrying a small boy into a dimly lit church. The boy has a strange birthmark on his chest, a symbol that the priest believes is a sign of evil. According to him, this child is not ordinary. He's the spawn of hell. The priest pulls out an ancient dagger, clearly intending to kill the child as a way to stop an evil prophecy. But just as he raises the weapon, the police arrive, interrupting the ritual. Despite the priest's desperate pleas, "You don't understand what this is. Don't stop me." The officers are forced to shoot him to protect the child. The priest dies on the spot, and the boy survives. The story then jumps 30 years forward to 1987. We're introduced to the main character, Marek, who arrives at a secluded monastery dressed as a priest. In reality, Marek is a militia officer sent undercover to investigate the mysterious disappearance of several women. Authorities believe the women might have been taken to this monastery, but they don't want to cause a scandal by openly searching a religious institution. So, Marek is sent in, quietly, to gather evidence. Upon arrival, Marek meets Father Andrei, the head of the monastery. Andrei welcomes him and gives him a tour of the church. Before assigning him a room, he reminds Marek not to leave his room at night, as wandering the monastery after dark is strictly forbidden. The environment is unsettling. There's no electricity, no phones, and the entire place feels cut off from the outside world. After settling in, Marek changes clothes. And here, we get our first shocking reveal. He has the exact same birthmark on his chest as the boy from 30 years ago. That boy was Marek. Somehow, he survived and grew up unaware of his significance. Marek opens his suitcase, which has a hidden compartment containing a camera, gun, and case files about the missing women. News clippings show their faces. Clearly, Marek is here on a serious mission, not just to expose corruption, but to uncover the truth behind the disappearances. Later, Marek joins the other priests for a communal meal. The food is bizarre with a foul smell and strange texture. He feels disgusted but tries to fit in. Later that night, as he explores the hallways, he passes a room where a woman is locked up, looking severely ill and disturbed. We learn that the monastery claims these people are possessed by demons, and the priests conduct exorcisms to cure them. That night, Marek participates in his first exorcism. The woman is tied to a bed, screaming in agony. Her body thrashes, her voice changes, and the room feels charged with dark energy. One of the priests, Father Piotr, is filming the event. As they hold up a crucifix, it suddenly bursts into flames, shocking everyone. But despite the chaos, the priests continue chanting, and eventually, the ritual ends. Marek is deeply disturbed by what he's witnessed. Later that night, while in his room, his mirror cracks on its own, and strange noises echo from the walls. The monastery clearly hides dark secrets. But Marek doesn't yet realize how deeply connected he is to them. The next day, Marek tries to maintain his cover, but he's growing suspicious of the strange routines at the monastery. At dinner, he's once again served that same suspicious meat, undercooked, greasy, and almost inedible. A new young man at the table begins crying, clearly disturbed by what he's being forced to eat. When he tries to resist, Father Piotr whispers something in his ear, and the boy reluctantly starts eating. Marek silently watches, disgusted. Later, Marek vomits in his room. Disturbingly, even one of his teeth falls out, and when he examines it closely, a fly crawls out of it. He's horrified, not only by the physical symptoms, but also by the growing realization that something is terribly wrong with the food they're being served. That night, Marek secretly sneaks into Father Andrei's room. Inside, he discovers a hidden door leading to a secret chamber. There, he finds a disturbing collection of tape recordings, alcohol, pornographic magazines, and objects that suggest the exorcisms are staged performances. These priests are not saints. They're frauds, exploiting faith for money and control. Driven by this discovery, Marek returns to the room where the exorcism took place. Under the bed, he finds a syringe, which confirms that the possessed woman was drugged. The bed has hidden machinery that causes it to shake, and the crucifix used during the ritual is just a cleverly disguised lighter. Everything was fake, except the woman. She was real, and she was a victim. The next morning, Marek is asked to lead the prayer session, but when he starts reading in English, Father Andre corrects him and demands he speak in Latin. Marek struggles, another red flag that he's not truly a priest. Father Piotr steps in to cover for him. At lunch, Marek finds a hair in his food, and this time he can't hold it in. He vomits again. It's clear now that something is being fed to them deliberately, something wrong and potentially dangerous. Fearing that his cover is about to be blown, Marek destroys his evidence files and keeps his gun ready. Outside, he spots a group of priests digging a grave, most likely for the woman from the exorcism. Later that night, he discovers a chamber full of mentally broken people, both men and women. The priests claim they are cursed, but Marek realizes they're just more of the monastery's victims, silenced and hidden. That night, Father Piotr approaches Marek in secret. He warns him that everyone knows Marek is here searching for the truth, but escaping this place won't be easy. Once you're here, he warns, you never leave. Marek finally tells him the truth. He's not a priest, but a militia officer. He was sent undercover because 8 women went missing, all supposedly brought here for exorcism and never seen again. Piotr admits that the exorcisms are staged for money. By faking demonic possessions, the monastery continues to receive funding from the Vatican. However, Piotr claims he doesn't know what actually happens to the women during the rituals. Marek promises to get Piotr out if he helps him expose the truth. Later, Marek investigates the church basement and discovers a horrifying sight, a hidden compartment filled with human remains, including teeth wrapped in cloth and a moving eyeball, eerily still alive. Terrified, Marek crushes the eye and vomits again, this time filled with flies. Later that night, Marek digs up the grave of the possessed woman, only to discover it's empty. Before he can process the shock, Father David knocks him unconscious from behind. When Marek wakes up, he's tied to a bed in his room. Father David is keeping watch, while Father Andrzej soon arrives with 4 separate bowls of food. He offers a prayer over them and insists Marek eat. Marek refuses, asking what's in the bowls, but receives no answer. Eventually, the priests try to force-feed him. As night falls, David accidentally dozes off. Marek uses the moment to free himself, grabs his gun, and kills David in a desperate fight. Once free, he rushes to the kitchen storage room, determined to find out what he's been eating. What he finds confirms his worst fear. The room is filled with the hanging bodies of mutilated women. These are the missing victims, and their flesh was being cooked and served. Marek realizes he and the others had been eating human meat, specifically, the flesh of the 7 sinful women mentioned in the prophecy. Just then, Piotr arrives and is horrified by what he sees. He quickly takes Marek to the monastery's library, where he shows him an ancient book. The prophecy reveals a chilling truth. Once every 800 years, during a solar eclipse, a demonic child is born. If this child consumes the flesh of 7 sinful women and drinks the blood of an innocent one, he will transform into a true demon, ushering in a new age of darkness. Marek is that child, and everything has been leading to the final step in the ritual. After learning the horrifying prophecy, Marek and Piotr agree they must escape the monastery. Piotr reveals a secret underground tunnel he once tried to use but failed. Marek hesitates to trust him, so Piotr lifts his robe and shows the scars on his back, the result of being whipped for his failed escape attempt. Convinced, Marek agrees to follow him. As they navigate the tunnel, Marek is ambushed. It was a setup. Ritual guards seize him and drag him away. When Marek regains consciousness, he finds himself tied to a large tree in the heart of the monastery. His arms are stretched, and he's completely at the mercy of the priests. Father Andre and the others now reveal everything. Marek's arrival was orchestrated. They had bribed the police to put him on this case. For centuries, they had been waiting for the child with the mark, born during an eclipse. The prophecy was clear. He would become the incarnation of hell if properly transformed. They point to the ancient stone well in the center of the church, claiming it leads directly to hell, a doorway their order has protected for over 800 years. They are not priests of God, but servants of Satan, and Marek is their chosen vessel. The ritual begins. The priests bring forth the innocent girl, slit her throat, and collect her blood. One by one, they drink from the chalice, then force the blood down Marek's throat. He resists, prays, begs God for help, but no answer comes. The process continues. With the blood of the innocent consumed, and Marek already fed the flesh of 7 sinful women over time, the final incantation begins. The priests chant in unison, invoking the demon, but nothing happens. Time passes. Marek remains unchanged. Confused and desperate, the priests stare at him. The room falls into silence. Marek starts laughing, mocking them for blindly believing in ancient superstitions. All their work, their murders, the decades of waiting, for nothing. After the failed ritual, the cult members begin to panic, not just because their prophecy didn't work, but because Marek was an undercover officer. They fear that the police might come looking for him, and if they find him alive, everything will be exposed. To cover their tracks, they make a cold decision. Marek must die. Without hesitation, they kill him and throw his body into the ancient well, believing that would bury the truth along with him. The atmosphere becomes tense. Piotr, overwhelmed by rage and betrayal, turns on Prior Andrzej. Furious that he followed this mad plan blindly, he suffocates the prior with a pillow, murdering him. When the others arrive, Piotr lies, claiming the prior drank too much and died in his sleep. With the prophecy apparently failed, the cult members panic. They burn the bodies of the murdered women, hoping to erase all evidence before the police arrive. As they mourn the collapse of their mission, Andrej's corpse lies untouched, a cross on the wall quietly turning upside down behind them. Then, a fly lands on his face, crawls out, and disappears into the stone well. Inside the well, the fly enters Marek's lifeless body. His eyes open, he slowly rises, resurrected, and begins transforming. His skin crawling, veins darkening, something ancient and evil awakens inside him. Back inside the church, Piotr begins levitating, his body rising into the air. A moment later, his form explodes into a swarm of flies, scattering into the shadows. A monstrous creature crawls out from the tunnel. The real demon, now fully awakened. The remaining priests try to run, but their bodies begin to twist unnaturally, hanging upside down, lifeless like slaughtered cattle. Outside, the world shifts. Trees rot, the ground turns black, and a dark rain begins to fall. Even the statue of Jesus turns its face away in shame. The gate to hell has opened. The prophecy didn't fail. It was just waiting.